The story of Judah and Tamar. Judah went up to Timnah to his sheep shearers. When Tamar was told, "Your father-in-law is going up to Tamar to shear his sheep," Tamar put off her widow's garments, put on a veil, wrapped herself up, and sat down at the entrance to Enaim, which is on the road to Timnah. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He went over to her at the roadside and said, "Come, let me come in to you," for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. Tamar said, "What will you give me?" He answered, "I will send you a kid from the flock." And she said, "Only if you give me a pledge until you send it." He said, "What pledge shall I give you?" Tamar replied, "Your signet and your cord and the staff that is in your hand." So he gave them to her, and she conceived by him. When Judah sent the kid to recover the pledge from the woman, he could not find her. He asked the townspeople, "Where is the temple prostitute who was at Enaim by the wayside?" But they said, "No prostitute has been here." So he returned to Judah and said, "I have not found her. Moreover, the townspeople said, 'No prostitute has been here.'" About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar has played the whore. Moreover, she is pregnant as a result of her whoredom." And Judah said, "Bring her out and let her be burned." As she was being brought out, she sent word to her father-in-law, "It was the owner of these who made me pregnant." And she said, "Take note, please, who these are: the signet, the cord, and the staff." And Judah acknowledged that they were his. When the time of her delivery came, there were twins in her womb. While she was in labor, one put out a hand, and the midwife took and bound on his hand a crimson thread, saying, "This one came out first." But just then he drew back his hand, and came out his brother, and she said, "What a breach you have made for yourself." Therefore he was named Perez. Afterwards, his brother came out with the crimson thread on his hand, and he was named Zerah.